Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we're doing another chit chat get ready with me. Okay, so I have kind of made the decision that I want to continue doing these. I want to pick out different topics to talk about while I'm doing my makeup, because if I sit down and just like kind of go on a whim on whatever I want to talk about, it's easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle because my brain is like, oh this, oh that, oh this, oh that. So today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day. I don't know, Valentine's Day has always been one of my favorite holidays, that and Halloween. I think part of my love for Valentine's Day comes from my mom, if I'm being honest, because that's her favorite holiday. I just love pink and red together. Just like a celebration of love. I'm very much someone who tries to celebrate the love I have for people every day, or at least as much as I can. I don't know, this is gonna be my first Valentine's Day single, no situationship, nothing, for the first time, I think like ever, really, since I started dating in high school. I have since I started dating in high school, I have almost always had a boyfriend. There have been like times where like I didn't have anyone, I guess, to talk to, or the longest I went without a boyfriend in college after my first relationship was like 4 months. I always thought like, oh yeah, like I'm fine being alone. Being single and dating and talking to people versus being single and not dating and talking to people are two very, very different things. This year, I am not dating, nor am I talking to anyone. So I have kind of decided that I'm going to give my best friend a really good Valentine's Day. And also, I want to give myself a good Valentine's Day. I try to think back on like Valentine's Day of years past. Last year, the guy I was with didn't make a reservation, or like tried to make a reservation the night before Valentine's Day. Obviously that didn't work. And then he took me to Olive Garden, which I love Olive Garden, and he basically just like complained the whole time. And the Valentine's Day before that, I was recently single and I was talking to a guy. And we had talked about exchanging presents for Valentine's Day. And so I had only known this guy for like a week. I got him a blanket, just something small. And he got me nothing, even after we talked about like exchanging kind of small gifts. And then when I asked him about it, I was like, why didn't you even like get me flowers? He was like, well, what do you expect from me? Like, you got me a blanket and that's kind of a cop-out gift. And I was like, oh? Like, I understand it's not the most thoughtful, but I also barely knew this man. I was just trying to be nice. I think the most romantic Valentine's Day I've ever had was when I was in college. And the guy I was dating, he like made us reservations at like this nice Italian place in town. Not in Olive Garden. And we got all dressed up and it was fun. But since then, and like, I don't know, I think it's hard because Valentine's Day also, like there are a lot of expectations that go into such a big holiday. Like I think a lot of people are kind of expected to perform, and like, you know, a lot of men are like, oh, well, it's all about the woman. I don't know, I'm someone who like wants to give all the love, and I've always very much been like, oh, I want to like get my partners a gift. Rarely have I ever received a gift on Valentine's Day, and that's like kind of hard. Not having any sort of person to spoil this year other than my best friend, with kind of not having anyone to spoil, I've decided I'm going to spoil my best friend. And I don't do this in the hopes that she does it back. I very much have like kind of plans for what I want to do for myself. I've seen like all these like yarn bouquets and stuff, and I kind of want to make one for myself. I think Valentine's Day is kind of a telling holiday of like the state of your relationship and how much somebody might or might not care. I think it's hard because you know, people are always like, well, you know, men aren't mind readers. You gotta tell them what you want. And I've done nothing but, I feel like, express what I want. And I know many of my friends and even family members, like women in my family, will express what they want to their male partners and they just like don't care. And I don't know how we got into this society of like people just like not caring about the well-being of their partner or like what their partner wants. And I think I'm so sick of people being like, well, I don't know when people started calling women gold diggers for like expecting men to be financially stable either. I love love. I do. And I just like don't understand I don't understand why dating has to be so hard. And I think it's comes from a lot of people just like not wanting to communicate properly. And it truly is kind of a choice, because like I hate when people are like, oh, well, like, I'm just so honest. It's like, no, you're mean. You don't have to say things in a mean way to be honest. And why is it that we as women aren't allowed to, like, talk about how we're unhappy without people getting, like, angry with us? So Taylor Swift just announced that her new album is coming out April 19th. And people are already talking, and it's so hard because, like, how real is any of this? But, like, articles coming out saying Joe Alwyn calling Taylor Swift shady if she releases a diss album about him. As if she's not allowed to write about her experiences in that relationship. When really, to the public eye, all she did was praise him. And so for her to come out, and we don't even know what the album's going to be, so this is all like speculation, for people to basically say that she shouldn't be allowed to do this unless they have an NDA about the end of their relationship. She has every right to talk about how it ended and the trials and tribulations. They were together for a long time. And it's that sort of mentality that makes women like scared to speak up if something bad happens to them. And, you know, a culture of slut shaming and shaming victims. And I mean, that's why men don't want women to gossip, because then it might come out that they're not really a good person. You know what else I'm sick of? People who don't want to post their partners. And it doesn't have to be like the most sappy, I love you so much, we've had our ups and downs. If anyone ever says we've had our ups and downs on social media, I always presume that their relationship is not going very well and that they are trying their best just to keep it the fuck together. I swear like a sailor in my everyday life. So why do you have to tell the world that you've been through your ups and downs? Is it a way of being like, see, I'm not perfect, like this is real life? Yeah, we all know what real life is like. I think everyone deserves to be like cherished for the person that they are. And I feel like a lot of us in society right now, at least in the United States and dating and all this stuff, I can only speak as a woman who dates men and all this stuff, but I feel like we get involved with these people who are like, well, I'm not ready, but I want you to stay around. And honestly, like, I'm just kind of done with it, and I think that's really what kind of sent me over this edge of being like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on me. I'm gonna focus on my goals. I just, like, don't see the point anymore, almost. If love is meant for me, it'll eventually come for me. Hopefully. I would like to be in love again one day. And, like, I get it. It's so lonely. It's hard. It's interesting. I get done with work every night, and, like, I don't even have someone that I'm texting right now. The only person I text is my best friend and our other roommate when we, like, need something, or coordinating dinner, or... And why is it that the loneliness of women is basically deemed as, like, our fault when there are psychology articles that come out talking about the male loneliness epidemic? Like, I don't understand how my loneliness is my fault, but yet any man's loneliness is my fault as well. Or, like, the fault of women. I think a lot of people nowadays, and this goes for men and women, I think a lot of people don't know how to, like, process their relationship trauma. Met a guy at a bar like a couple months ago, and he was like, yeah, my last girlfriend and I we broke up like around 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, do you feel like you've like moved on from that? And he was like, well, no, who really ever moves on until you get someone new? And I was like, then you're just using that new person to get over the old person. Like, something about that doesn't seem quite right. And he got mad at me for saying that. Why should another woman be the reason why you like get over your last relationship? Like, I don't think there's ever really like a timeline for like breakups and getting together with someone new and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, I think that there's just kind of like the societal expectation that you take time to yourself. And some people do and some people don't, and that's their choices, but like, I don't like the thought that you're using someone else to get over your past relationship. Like, that's not cool, that's not fair, that's not fun, funky, fresh. I don't know, gosh, we've gotten way off topic. Me has gotten off topic. Valentine's Day is a time to like celebrate, but I feel like there are so many expectations on what that day is supposed to look like, and then, you know, what's supposed to happen that night, and I feel like it leads to a lot of disappointment if there isn't a clear communication between you and your partner on like what you want out of that day. And I feel like that's an expectation of men and women, because men and women get all this stuff thrown at them through social media, and it's not fair and it's not fun. And so it's like, oh, you need to do this to please your woman, or you need to do this so that your man doesn't leave you. And it's like, maybe if you talked with your partner, instead of searching for advice on social media, you could ask them. And if you do talk to them and they don't care, or, you know, if they don't care about what you're telling them, then it's time to go, you know? I feel like more people should probably be breaking up right after Valentine's Day. Because I feel like the people who say like, oh, well, you should love them every day are the people who give half loves every day and don't want to have to put in extra effort on one day. Because the people who would tell me that when I was in relationships were also the people who wouldn't give like my birthday the time of day. Sorry if this is like too much. I guess I shouldn't say sorry. This is my channel and my video and what I wanted to talk about today, but I guess talking more about like relationships and dating is just the trenches. I mean, I've had guys get mad at me on Tinder for telling them that I like requested we go to get like a drink or coffee or dinner before meeting up at their house. I'm 26 years old, like I'm not doing that. I've heard too many stories. How do I feel about being single this Valentine's Day is, I guess, what I wanted this video to be, and then it took a drastic turn. How I feel about it, I feel so good. And this isn't even like an overcompensation, like, I don't know, people can think what they want, but I am like so happy to finally be taking time for myself. I feel like so much of my teenage, college, and now even just like post-grad life, I have spent looking for a partner. I feel like I've spent looking for a partner, and to what avail? I feel like all I've done is really like sacrifice myself and what I want and need out of this life for the sake of potentially having a companion, to then be like treated so poorly. And it's because I let myself be treated that poorly. And I guess the reason why I say these things and why I like want to, I guess, put it out into the world is that like you don't have to be treated that way. And if even just one person listens to this and they're like, you know what, that's right, I'll be happy. Because I do feel really, really, really strongly about this, and I just think that we should expect more out of the people in our lives to like treat us nicely. And isn't it so sad that just saying I want to be treated nicely is like too high of a standard for some people. And I currently live in an area where the men feel so entitled to like call every woman around them a slut or whore or like expect me to come up and say something first, or I don't know, just this entitlement to say all of these really gross and like mean things to my face. And then like I've been out in public where like men have just videotaped me for no reason, and I went dancing one time and this guy like would not leave me alone. And so just to get him off my back, I was like, oh, I'm married. And he went, oh, me too. Understand, like anyone who is like, oh, small town cowboy men, they're so nice. Like I'll read an Elsie Silver book all day and just wish that even a portion of the men out here were like that, because they can be so mean. And then a lot of people out here also have self-proclaimed drinking problems, and they're just like kind of okay with that. And I don't really understand that either, because if you don't like your life but yet you refuse to move, there are reasons why I'm here. There are reasons why I live here. And I'm not going to be here forever, not even like super long term. I would say if I'm here for 2 years, that's still pretty short term in the grand scheme of life. But like, why is it that people are just so okay being so unhappy for so long when they could probably do something about it, or at least try to work towards doing something about it? And that doesn't even mean moving. For me, like living here and kind of dealing with these trials and tribulations, like turning into myself, reading more books, focusing on my crocheting and filming videos, like that's been my way of like kind of coping. And I don't understand why so many people just like they don't help themselves more, or, you know, try and figure out something they can do. Wow, okay, so I'm sorry if that was like a really sad video. Makeup's done. I guess I don't really have much more to say. Leave a comment down below what you think about Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh, is this video gonna see the light of day? I feel like I'm not always very vulnerable on this channel, and if this was too vulnerable, I guess I'm sorry about that. But yeah, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more fiber and book related content. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.